good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another video, guys, or another live from Fantasy Good Sports, guys. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is cutting edge content. So, guys, today's title of the video is going to be 5 guys that you should be trying to trade for. So I'm giving you 5 guys that I feel good about as a player, that I feel good about telling you that they trade targets. We all know like top 12 perennial guys are trade targets, but sometimes they could be trending down as the quadrant pass. So I'm not just going to tell you to trade for a guy just because he's playing good. I want you to trade for guys that I actually would want on my team and I feel comfortable with. Now, it's up to you if you want those guys, but I'm going to do this video. I actually want to give a shout out to Deal Devoted. He asked me to do a trade video. And the way I see fantasy, sometimes I forget about some of the simple things of doing the trade video every week. So I wanted to do this trade video for y'all. So make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Also, this is a members only live. So I'm doing the members only. You guys in here right now, you can ask me all the questions and you got priority. You don't have to worry about people that may not be subscribed, not subscribed to the channel, but yeah, may not be subscribed or may not be a member. You get priority of doing that. So, hold on for a second, guys. I'm sorry about this. Hey, guys, sorry about that. My phone started doing something weird, so I had to fix it. So I apologize for that. Let's see here. Hold on, make sure this is right. Okay. All right, we here. Okay, so yeah, guys, this is a member only. What's up, Cratch? What's up, bruh? This is a members only live. So I want y'all to get, so this live might not be super long, but it's gonna be for my members. That way you can ask questions and you get them answered. So I'm gonna go over my list kind of quickly, and then y'all can ask me whatever you stars and six questions, whatever you need. And I'm gonna try to do this once a week. I'm going to try to do this once a week. In the middle of the week, Wednesday, with no game, this is a good time to do it. Other than that, I'm hurting myself. People are not going to subscribe if it's only members only. Excuse me. But I do it like on a Wednesday, not a Saturday, a day where a lot of volume is coming through, where I'm going to miss out on subscribers. But I just want to make sure y'all know what's going on. Yeah, anytime, Kingdom Nike, anytime. Okay, so let's go through these guys. The first guy I want to talk about is a wide receiver, and I've talked about this guy the last couple of weeks. I love his value. It's Jordan Addison from the Minnesota Vikings. Now listen, I'm going to keep it short and concise. Jordan Addison is playing against number 2 corners. I feel good with anybody that has the type of route running that he has. He's a good athlete. He's not a small wide receiver. He's like he's like 6'1", 6'2". I think this guy is going to eat. He's playing with Sam Darnold, who's having a breakout season, who's playing really well. Great coaching, Kevin O'Connell. I think Jordan Addison is going to eat. And if I need to have a number 2 wide receiver on my team, I feel good about having Jordan Addison with Justin Jefferson on the other side. So I'll pick up Jordan Addison as a trade target. Whatever it takes to get them. Now, if y'all wanna discuss what you need to get them, then that's where consultations come in. But off the top of my mind, let me see here. What's a guy that I would go after Jordan Addison after? Like if I got Romeo Doubs, I'm going to get Jordan Addison. Michael Pittman, I'm probably going to get Jordan Addison. Like those type of wide receivers. Let's see. Christian Kirk, I'm going to get Jordan Addison. I love Jordan Addison. So, guys, if put it in the question like, TD, what kind of trade targets? If you put a guy in there, and I'll tell you yay or nay. But right now, it's just kind of just going off the top of the dome. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Deontay Johnson, I'm going to get Jordan Addison. So those are guys. So let's move on to my number 2 guy, trade target. And it's going to be Jordan Love, the quarterback from the Green Bay Packers. Now listen, I know CHB, you in the building. I know CHB loves Jordan Love. He loves the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love, to me, guys, I hate Listen, I think C.J. Stroud is talented. I love Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson is going to be the MVP. But the way Jordan Love pushes that ball down the field with these weapons is special. And if I'm going to play a guy in fantasy who's going to hyper-target guys, and I don't mean like hyper-target pushing the ball downfield, trying to score fantasy points, there's no other quarterback out there really better than Jordan Love passing the ball to a bunch of different weapons. Now, there are other guys who's going to concentrate targets to an alpha. Jordan ain't concentrated on nobody. He'll throw to Tucker Kraft. He'll throw to I was about to say Aaron Jones. He'll throw to Josh Jacobs. He'll throw to Luke Musgrave. He'll throw to Christian Watson. It doesn't matter. But this guy's going to push the ball down the field, and he'll do it play after play after play after play. So I love Jordan Love. So if you feel funny about Josh Allen, you might not now. That's fine. If you love Josh Allen, go down with Josh Allen. You got C.J. Stroud. I would pivot if I felt funny about these quarterbacks and go get Jordan Love. I would feel great about that. The only quarterback that I don't want and I wouldn't swap out for Jordan Love is Lamar Jackson. Right, that is trash. That is trash. It's okay though. Hey, I'm the type of person I don't complain in league. So King of Nike, Jarvis says, my league trade deadline is today and it's trash. Yeah, I can see that. Man, I play in so many leagues where I think things should be like shifting around. I don't say nothing because I run leagues and people complain all the time about small shit. So I get it. Yeah, but yeah, Jordan Love, guys, go get him. I think this is the best fantasy passing quarterback, pure pocket passing quarterback in the whole NFL for fantasy. All right, let's move on to my number 3 guy. And this is a wide receiver from the Houston Texans, and it's going to be Nico Collins. Now, listen, people that have Nico Collins could be losing. They could be 500, and you could give them a player where they will like, okay, I'll give up Nico because I got to win this week. If I lose, I'm probably going to be out the playoffs. So why are you going to hold on to Nico and you're just going to lose and pay your money and not be able to win a championship and not be able to make some money? So I think Nico could be good if you you only lost 2 games. You can stash this guy. And when he comes back and he's healthy, you got an alpha ready to put in the slot position at the flex. You playing Nico Collins as a flex play because you already got Justin Jefferson, you already got a good record, and you're going to bring this guy in. If say you got a good running back, good rear, you got top of the end running backs, and you can bring Nico in as your top wide receiver when he gets healthy. Even if he don't come back the first week that he's eligible, he's still good because you're winning. So I like Nico Collins to pick up because it's a buying window. People are kind of like, he's hurt and I need to win this week. So everybody, I'm not going to mention, of course, everybody will want to buy Amon-Ra St. Brown. Everybody want to get Justin Jefferson. Everybody want to get top running backs, right? But it ain't that simple. So you got to have something to go on with a player to have a buying window. Because people won't even sell high. Even if you give them a nice piece, they still don't want to do it. Now, listen, I do want to talk about a caveat before I move on to my next player. I want to say that if you get Miami Dolphins, we all know what day it is. So I'm not going to make no video this week when they get ready to come back and talk about, hey, buy low on Tyreek Hill. I'm not making no video. That's not what Fantasy Good Sports. That's too damn obvious for a buying window. We know if you like Tyreek, go get him. And you should have been and got him. Now, this week is going to cost you a pretty penny to try to get him. But if you like Tyreek, you can't wait to, Tua's coming back. All this now you want to buy Devon A. Now you overpaying. You got to trust it when it seems bad. So you should have bought low on the Miami Dolphins 3 weeks ago. So I'm not making no video on that. I didn't even put him in this list. All right, let's move on. So we got Jordan Addison as a wide receiver that I think is a trade target. We got Jordan Love as a quarterback, as a trade target, is one of the best passing quarterbacks in the NFL. And we got Nico Collins, who's out on an injury right now with a hamstring injury, who I believe he's coming back this year and going to be a league winner for the 4th quadrant. We see now that he's the main guy. With Tank Dell going through that injury, they need Nico. Stephon Diggs is just a good guy to go out there, but he ain't an alpha at this point in time of his career where he can do it by himself. So they need Nico, and I like acquiring Nico right now and stashing him. All right, let's move on to my number 4 guy. Y'all might be surprised. It's going to be a tight end from the Baltimore Ravens, and it's Mark Andrews. Not Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews. And I told y'all from the beginning, from each video when I said in the offseason, I'm not drafting Mark Andrews, but if he fall or I can pick him up in the middle of the season when he starts hitting and I can trust it, I would get him then. And that's what's going on. So now, listen, I got Isaiah Likely. I'm not trying to get Mark Andrews, but there's a few leagues where I might have some downtrodden tight ends in some dynasty leagues, and I can acquire a guy. Mark Andrews, it kind of missed the window, but it's still good because people can still think it's volatile. You can still get Mark Andrews with Lamar passing game going. I mean, him passing ball out of his mind, having a great season. I think Mark Andrews is going to have close to 7 to 8 touchdowns. I still think he can get 10. I always said that he would have 10 receiving touchdowns, but he's not going to be old Mark Andrews where he's leading the team in receiving yards. So I think Mark Andrews, guys, is a great trade target. Go trade for him if you need a tight end. Nino says worried about Kupp, to be honest, with health. I've been telling y'all, so I haven't said this a lot. I love Kupp. I'm gonna use Kupp on some teams just to get a couple wins. I don't believe he can stay healthy the whole year with that ankle. I think he got a degenerate ankle. You didn't see this ankle go out 3 times. It went out 2 years ago when he was killing it. He was having 27 points a game. Then he came back the year after that and got hurt in the offseason, and it was a hamstring. Then it went to the ankle again. And then this year, it went to the ankle again. I'm not trusting no Kupp to be a league winner for the all quadrants. He's not the all quadrant player that he was 2 or 3 years ago because of his health. When I'm watching him work out, he looks like he got a little bit of a limp. Like just a little bit of a catch. So, yeah, Kupp, bro. I would try to trade. I would trade him. I would trade him if I could. Now I'm not. Now if I can't get like nothing really good for him, then I'm just gonna squeeze everything that I can get him paused. And if he get hurt, he get hurt. But I'm not gonna give him away just because I think he got injury problems. Make sure you get a Nico Collins, a DK Metcalf, or Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know that's tough. I'm getting up there, but these are the guys that you should be using Cooper Kupp to get. Don't be using Cooper Kupp for Tyler Lockett, right? Tim Patrick. And I'm being funny, but I'm just to let y'all know. Don't try to get these lower tier guys, JSN. No, I'm not doing that. I got Cooper Kupp. Give me what I deserve. If I'm in Dynasty, I'm asking for a first or 3 seconds. Like I might not take a first, but you're gonna give me 3 seconds and another or a really good young piece, something with it. Cooper Kupp value is still really good. He's still a top 12 value when you trading him. But the reason why you getting off him is because you don't want the ankle injuries, and people ain't on that. So that's why I want to say about Cooper Kupp. I don't want Cooper Kupp if I'm trying to buy low on a super wide receiver. I'd rather have Malik Neighbors or somebody. Let me see. Let me finish this. Let me finish these last 2 guys, and then I'm gonna get to the comment section. Okay, what's going on, Siobhan? Guys, let me know what you think about the members only. I want to see comments about what y'all think about the members only live. Do you think that it's not like I should allow everybody to come in? I think I have to do this. This is what y'all pay for, and I want to reward y'all for being a member of my channel, right? Because a lot of guys come through. Not saying that they don't have the money per se, but they like, oh well, I ain't gotta be a member. I mean, TD's gonna read my comment out anyway. So I want to do this for the ones that show me respect and donate to the channel. I want to reward you with being able to get your questions answered a little bit quicker without super chatting and stuff like that. If you want to super chat, you can super chat. If you don't want to, that's fine. Okay, so let's move on to another wide receiver from the Washington Commanders, and it's going to be Terry McLaurin. A lot of people was worried about Terry. I was not. When they didn't draft another wide receiver and they let Jahan go, I was like, I'm like, damn, Terry about to be a top 5 wide receiver, guys. And if Jaden Daniels is healthy, Terry McLaurin gonna eat every single damn week because they're not gonna really be able to double team him. He don't need to hyper target Terry, but Terry still is gonna eat, right? Like he don't have to hyper target, but Terry's still gonna get 8 to 10 targets a game because Jaden Daniels is so good, right? We do see wide receivers get off with a rookie quarterback, but not the way Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is playing like a 5-year vet who he's spreading the ball around to guys who aren't super talented. So to me, that makes me feel even better about Terry. It ain't like, oh, it's just Terry and Jaden Daniels or bust. It's not that. So that makes Terry be able to get in the flow of the offense and get really good, valuable targets instead of just getting hyper target and it's trashy. Look at Devontae Adams last week. We just hit target, and it gets trashy sometimes. But Terry McLaurin gets his within the flow of the offense because Jaden Daniels is that good. So I love Terry McLaurin. Pick him up, and I think you can get him. People are like, oh, Terry, they ain't lifting him up to be the receiver that he really is. So you can go and trade for him. Kelvin Hernandez, thank you for the super chat, bruh. Yes, sir. If become a member, man. I got different tiers. That way you can comment. Appreciate you being here, Kelvin. King of Nike says members only are perfect. There are too many trolls on other lives. Right. Martin Castillo says TD, Jonathan Taylor for Stephon Diggs or Nico Collins. Legit. I would say go Jonathan Taylor for Nico Collins to get the wide receiver, not Stephon. I would go with Nico and be patient if you got a good record. If you ain't got a good record, you might not want to try to trade for Nico because you can't wait. But if you got a good record, you 2 or 3 games ahead of 500. Yeah, I'm going to get Nico and Jonathan Taylor. Running backs, man, they get hurt. So if you can get off of them, you can do it. I like Jonathan Taylor, but that's for my team where I can wait on Jonathan Taylor. Some people can't wait, and you need to go ahead and get off of him, and I get that. Because he's going to be volatile. He might miss another game, and I'm okay with that on my team. But there's some teams where I got to get off certain guys because I just don't like them. Like I got Mike Evans. I've been trying to trade him. I couldn't, guys. He's sitting around being the number 1 receiver, top 5 receiver for multiple weeks. Nobody would take him, and I think it's because of me. They like, yo, you trying to trick me. So I hate that shit. That's why in my listener leagues, guys, one of them listener league, I got 1 win. All my other leagues, I'm killing it, but I can't get my players, and I like that. I'm okay with losing when my guys are listening to me and they drafting the elite players. I couldn't get no Lamar Jackson in my listener league. I couldn't get, and I'm not using no excuses, but other leagues, they don't value Lamar the way I do. Other leagues they didn't value Brian Thomas Jr. the way I do. So I'm happy with that. That I want y'all to be able to win because I'm giving y'all some good players to pick up in the summer. Right? That's what I put my staple on. All right, guys. Last but not least, I got one more guy. This is the bonus guy. Thank you for everybody who's watching the live, who's here. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. It's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. from the Arizona Cardinals. Now, listen. The reason why I like Marvin Harrison Jr. is because he's the number 1 overall pick, right? Now, this number 2 overall pick, right? The number 2 overall pick. So, guys, it's not like they got to start targeting him. They just bringing him along slowly. They didn't want to throw him to the wolves. And that's what I told everybody, guys, hey, TD Marvin Harrison, I'm like, guys, I'm not drafting Marvin Harrison. I remember y'all downgraded some of my teams in the offseason when we was doing mock drafts because you could have got Marvin Harrison. I said, I don't want Marvin Harrison. I'm not saying he sucked. I just don't want him in no 1st or 2nd round. Now, if I can get him in the 4th round, yes, I'm taking him. I don't want him. I didn't even draft Malik Neighbors in the 1st or the 2nd round. So why would I'm not drafting no rookie? Be patient. Listen, if I missed it, he ended up being a Jamar Chase, that's fine. But if he ain't, you can't come back from that. People that got Marvin Harrison ain't no championship. You didn't traded Marvin Harrison multiple times, whatever. Most people that drafted Marvin Harrison don't have a winning formula or winning lineup per se, right? You know how you can say, oh, we got Jamar Chase, you probably winning your league. You got Lamar, you probably winning your league. Yes, but it ain't happened for Marvin. Marvin is a great player and going to be good, but it's going to take him a little bit of time because he's not super athletic. But I think as the 3rd and 4th quadrant come, Marvin going to be eating. You see him running wide open? You see him running wide open the other night. That's what's going to be happening. So I love Marvin Harrison, guys, for a trade target. Okay, so let's get deep in some of these comments right here. I want to really take the time out because I don't have a lot of comments. So I want to be very detailed. So I apologize if I just be on the topic too long, but I really want to give y'all your money worth. All right. So hold on. Let me go to the top real quick. Yep. King of Nike says, tapped in, TD. How are you? I'm doing good, bruh. I'm doing good, man. Just trying to get the content out to y'all guys. Doing good. Yeah, for a members only live, I got 43 people in here. I think this is a pretty good live. Pretty good live. Guys, make sure you sign up as a member. You can comment. Um, Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. Conscious Machine. What's up, bruh? CHB in the building. Yes, sir. And one of my leads, guys, I think me and him got to play. He's 6-1. I'm 6-1. He got to kill it. I'm talking about. I have never seen a dynasty team. I got to give him credit for this. He was drafting last year. We did a startup. The first pick, number 2, I think he had the number 2, number 3 overall pick. He took Tyreek. Now listen, he knew that if Tyreek would have fell to me at the 1-7, I think I was at the 1-7. I'm drafting him, but he took Tyreek. And then he come around. Everybody else is super flex, so everybody going quarterback. He turn around, he go CeeDee Lamb. No, actually he's at the pick 1, but he goes CeeDee Lamb, and then he goes who else? Like he got Puka, he got Puka, like he got 4 top wide receivers. So his team is really, really good. So he projected to win the league. Like he's scoring a bunch of points every week. So I wanted to give him his shout out, bro. Good job, bro. And guys, if you win my leagues, I'm gonna shoot you out, and you can come on and talk about your team too. Cretch, what's up, Cretch? What's up, bro? How your underdog leagues doing? How your best ball leagues doing? King of Nike says, appreciate that, bro. Anytime. King of Nike says, okay, we did that one. We did that one. Nino says, think that deal is good enough or aim higher. So he says, worried about Kupp, to be honest, with the health trade rumors. Would you send Kupp, B-Rob for Breach and Wandale? I like the Breach. I think Breach is going to be fine. I think as long as he stays healthy. Wandale is a PPR monster, but that team is struggling a little bit. Because I like B-Rob so good, I would say slightly to the Kupp and B-Rob, but I think it's an even trade. Because Kupp is volatile. Wandale is not really a wide receiver that you can trust every single week because of his quarterback play, also the offense. Breach and B-Rob are both really good. B-Rob is just as good as Breach. I actually might trust B-Rob a little bit better because the offense flows better for the Washington Commanders. But I'm going to go with the Kupp and B-Rob side. I like that side a little bit better. I would try to aim higher than Wandale. I want something a little bit better than Wandale. Just a little bit. They don't got to be Malik Neighbors or anybody. Roma Dunze, maybe somebody with some 4th quadrant upside. I might go with Roma Dunze, somebody like that. Not saying to get him, but somebody on that type of level. Did you like, oh yeah, he's a young stud. He could break out. It might have been 2 years in the league, but don't get Wandale where Daniel Jones, he lost his tackle. So I love Daniel Jones. I thought Daniel Jones was about to break out. They lost Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas is the 2nd best left tackle in the whole NFL outside of the guy from San Francisco. So that's why I don't want Wandale. Nino says, I think that deal is good enough. Or yeah, so I would aim higher. King of Nike says, what other running backs and wide receivers you see on the move? And what you mean by on the move, bro? You mean like you think they're going to get traded? Guys that I think is going to get traded, I think Travis Etienne can get traded. Okay, let me see here. I'm going to give you some trade targets. Okay, let me see here. I can see T. Higgins getting traded. If they lose a couple games, I can see T. Higgins getting traded. I don't think he's gonna get traded right now because they winning. So if they win the next 3 games, T. Higgins gonna stay there. They're gonna try to take their shots to win the Super Bowl. But if they lose a couple and they like almost in last place in their division and can't win the division and probably not gonna make the wild card. Once they figure that out, T. Higgins could be traded at that near the deadline. If they know that at the deadline, if they don't know, then they're gonna keep him. I just want to mention that. Cortland Sutton, I can see Cortland Sutton getting traded. I can see Cortland Sutton getting traded. I can see James Conner getting traded. If Arizona's not gonna make the playoffs, they gonna trade. They'll probably trade James Conner and start using Trey Benson. So James Conner's a guy to have where he could go on a team that all they need is a running back and they ready to win. That's can happen. So I can see James Conner getting traded. Um, I can see Chuba Hubbard getting traded, and Deontay Johnson from the Carolina Panthers. I can see those two guys getting traded. Why would you hold on to Deontay when you got a young quarterback? He can't be used by Bryce. Bryce can't use Deontay, so why would you hold on to him? Chuba Hubbard, where you gonna run him into the ground and then he's just gonna walk away after this year, and you don't offer nobody, you don't get nothing from him. So those are a couple guys that I can see getting traded. Um, Siobhan says, "Hey Titty, what's going on with you, Siobhan?" Nino says, "Messing with it a good bit. Just be messing some of the streams. Be missing some of the streams. Notice. Okay, messing with it a good bit. Just be missing some of the streams. Yeah, that's why I try to like give it a 30-minute to give you 30 minutes so you can get the notification." King of Nike says members only are perfect. There are too many trolls in the other lives. And Nino says real. Martin Castillo says TD. Okay, we did that one already. We talked about Nico Collins. Siobhan says got Pearsall on the bench. Should I pick up Keon Coleman for the third and fourth quadrant? I have to drop Pearsall. Which one you think is better? Okay. So Keon Coleman right now, I would want to play him this week with Amari Cooper. I think Keon Coleman is a great number two. The way I just think the offense fits him with the number two. Not saying he can't be a number one, but he can do his jump ball thing and not worry about running routes underneath and all the whole tree. With Amari Cooper, who can run the whole tree. So I think right now, starting in this quadrant, I think Keon Coleman is good. But I think because of Ayuk injury, I think Pearsall could be getting 8 catches a game week 12, week 13. Now, it's going to take him a little bit of time because he got to learn the offense. He got shot, whatever. But I think about week 11, 12, going into your fantasy football playoff fourth quadrant, I think Ricky Pearsall could be that guy. He's the best route runner. Juwan Jennings is just a really good, savvy, tough wide receiver that can make contesting catches. But you can't run him underneath like Ayuk. So I don't think Juwan Jennings is going to get hyper-targeted as much as Ricky Pearsall. Juwan Jennings might score more touchdowns, but he's not going to get hyper-targeted. So in full PPR, I love Pearsall. Same thing with Coleman. So, man, I think both of them are really good. I think it's tomato. I think it's also got to do with your platform. Full PPR, I think Pearsall would probably be better long-term if you can be patient. But if you need somebody this week, I would say Keon Coleman. I think he could score 10-plus points. Pearsall probably could, but I don't think it's like the way Coleman can. Coleman can hit. Josh Allen to push that ball downfield 60 yards at a time, right? And all you gotta do is catch 2 of them. You are automatically a top 24 wide receiver. That's how I feel about Keon Coleman. I like both of the guys. I'm getting Pearsall over Juwan Jennings, and I'm also playing Keon Coleman this week. I think Keon Coleman is a star, and I might make him on my start of the week video. I actually might say he's a star. Tron says, TD, remember I told you Hopkins would get traded. Yeah, right. We knew he would get traded somewhere. We didn't know where. I woke up this morning being rewarded for holding D-Hop on my bench. Right. That's why I always tell y'all to stash the players. Don't get off of them just because they have bad weeks. Because stuff like this come around. Wide receiver room now, Tyreek, Kupp, McLaurin, D-Hop, JSN, and Mooney. Facts. Now this one I'm going to tell you. I know you know fantasy. I don't want to play matchups with these guys because you're not gonna never be able to get Mooney. Mooney gonna be booming on your bench sometimes because you can't put Mooney in over D-Hop. You can't put Mooney in over McLaurin or even Kupp. So I'm not saying you got too many guys, but I just want you to get ready for your starts and sits. If you got D-Hop, if you can't play him and play him with no conscience, then you might want to trade. Not telling you to do that. It's your team, but don't try to say, TD, who should I play? D-Hop or Mooney? bruh, that's gonna be tough because Mooney to me is still a really good wide receiver, and I still think he's gonna get targets. And I don't want to when Atlanta has a great matchup, I don't want to bench Mooney just because I want to get D Hop when I know Mooney is gonna get those targets. If Mooney stop getting the targets, we all know that. Like it can happen. If he get on a 2-game trend where he's only getting 4 or 5 targets, then it's gonna be easy. But I don't want it to be tough where you're gonna be leaving somebody scoring on your bench that's gonna be a top 12 wide receiver. And all these guys look good. Like JSN, if DK missed 2 weeks, JSN gonna be getting hyper targeted. Might not be top 12, but it could definitely be top 24 up to top 32. Top 32 wide receivers are starting wide receivers in fantasy now. Most leagues got 3 wide receivers. Yeah. Good job, bro. Why they hold on to D-Hop? Nino says, I be riding with you on most of these takes, but really can't believe in Marv just yet for this year, but we'll see. Right. But the thing is, the stats doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's the opportunity that it can happen, right? That's why I'm telling you to get them. That's why I'm not telling you to get these high-end guys where if it don't work out, your season is over. If you trade for Marvin Harrison, say you got Amari Cooper as your number 3 wide receiver, and you didn't like Amari Cooper. He's still on the Cleveland, but had maybe 1 or 2, maybe just had a good game in Cleveland last week. You could trade that Amari Cooper for Marv, who could be going for 30, 40 points during your fantasy football playoffs. Or he could do it a couple weeks before. You're like, oh, I got something now in your playoffs. You got a starting wide receiver that you feel great about that you could put in the flex. And I'm so glad, Nino, that you mentioned that because a lot of people don't understand why I'm telling them to pick up certain players. Like people think, Christian, you biased to Christian. I'm not biased about no Christian. I know what Christian Watson is, but I think those are league-winning players where you think Jamar Chase is your winner, your league winner. He's not your league winner. It's your damn flex play and your RB2 that's winning. The guy that you're picking up off the bench, that's what gets you ahead of the other guys. It ain't just your top players. Ain't nobody going to drop Tyreek and Jameer. You're not getting those guys on the same team. So you're going to have guys that are in the late rounds that's going to be booming. So when a guy is drafted early and you can go and pick him up and stash him because we know the upside of what he can be, you winning. You win it. So that's why I'm telling you to make the move. It's not that I love Marv. I didn't tell nobody to draft Marv. And I know you're not saying that. I know what you're saying. But I think this is a great teaching moment. I didn't want nobody to draft Marv. But buying low on Marv right now, that's the move. And if it don't happen, it doesn't matter. I don't want to tell you to trade for guys that if they don't play good, your team is in shambles. I just don't want to do that. I usually most of my guys, most of y'all that follow me, you already got pillars on your team. So if you got an extra pillar or somebody that you're not using, you can go get this guy and you never know what's going to happen. I don't claim to know what's going to happen. I claim to have my bingo card. When Isaiah Likely went off the first week of the season, it was my bingo card. I just had Likely on one of my spaces and it hit. I didn't say, oh, Likely going to get 8 targets on the left side of the field and he's going to run a 15-yard comeback to first play. I don't know that shit, but I do know that they like Likely. And I do know that Likely is a great player and he came out of Coastal Carolina as an elite tight end. So it's his 2nd or 3rd year in the league. So I'm riding with Likely. That's how I see it. Same thing with Marv. I don't think Marv is faster than Malik Neighbors. He's going to have a tough time against press coverage. But when he finds out what he can do, and they know he's a jump ball contestant freak, Kyler gonna be throwing that ball up there for him. But it's gonna take a little bit of time. Tron's appreciate you, Tron. Appreciate you. That was a great. I'm so glad you made that comment because a lot of people don't understand that, and I want to teach y'all that. But let's see here. Okay, Tron says, I need 2 wide receivers and a flex PPR. Tyreek, Kupp, McLaurin, D-Hop, JSN, Mooney, Mostert, and Madison. Okay. So for the first week, this is okay because we got to pick what you're going to go out there and start with. I can't tell you to start D-Hop immediately, not with these type of players that you have. That's why I was kind of saying that. Sometimes when you want guys just to be able to come in your lineup and be easy, you don't want these guys to beat out Jamar Chase, right? And have to play him and knowing it, then they hit and they outscore Chase. And then you confused like, well, I should have played him. No, you should never sit none of your studs for a guy like that. So what I'm going to tell you for this week, let's just get into a vacuum and break down the best starts for you. because this is the first week that D-Hop actually got a good role. So I'm going to say Tyreek with Tua. If Tua plays, you got to play Tyreek. Kupp, he plays, you got to play him. I'm a little leery about Kupp. He looked like he had a little limp, but I think he's okay. So I would say Tyreek and Kupp, and then your flex would be McLaurin. Those are 3 guys that I'm playing. That I'm playing. I feel great about those 3 guys. I think you got 3 league-winning receivers, bro. Tron. Good job. Now, if something happened with Kupp, or you want to trade Kupp, and you like D-Hop comes out the first week in ball, you might feel good about trading Kupp now, or trading McLaurin, or even trading Tyreek. That's up to you. It's your team. Nino said Deontay Johnson on the move. I heard, yes. There's rumors that Deontay Johnson is on the move. There's rumors that Deontay Johnson on the room. Wait a minute, guys. I'm sorry. I got a super chat. I hadn't seen it. What's up, Mr. Sleeper? What's up, bruh? Sorry, it took me a little while to see that. I don't know if you just did it, but sometimes I'm doing the content and I don't even see the super chat pop up. It don't really pop up on my phone like that. I have to kind of look at the top and see the money and knowing that somebody just did a super chat. So appreciate you, Mr. Sleeper. Yes, sir. So yeah, Deontay Johnson is on the move. So it's rumors. It's rumors. So if you got Deontay Johnson, stash him. That's why I tell y'all guys, you like, TD, should I do this and drop this guy? And I'm like, no. You're like, why? He ain't did nothing in 3 weeks. But then this happened, right? That's what I'm saying. So hold on to these guys that you believe are good players. I believe Rashid Shaheed and Deontay Johnson are good players, and I'm saying that because those are the 2 guys that I was drafting back to back in a lot of my drafts. They were falling like round 6 and 7, and I was Deontay Johnson, Rashid Shaheed. So, yeah, I believe Deontay Johnson is a great stash to have in case he gets traded to another team who can handle him. Pause. Martin Castillo, he says, bruh, I'm 7-0. Uh-oh. He says, in a redraft, just lost Godwin. It's okay. I lost Godwin. I don't give a damn. I got plenty of talent on my team. Even with the way I front load my teams, I still got plenty of talent. Who can I start at the flex? Tyrone Tracy Jr., D-Hop, or Ricky Pearsall? So Tyrone Tracy right now is not a must start because of Andrew Thomas being out the game. So hold on to Tyrone, but you can't start him. I would start probably D-Hop because you have guys that don't have a lot of value right now, and they building it. I would start D-Hop over Ricky Pearsall this week. I would start D-Hop for the Kansas City Chiefs. Hopefully he can go in there and start practicing, and D-Hop don't need a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if Ricky Pearsall outperformed him, but D-Hop got touchdown upside. He's on this team for touchdown. But Ricky Pearsall probably going to get more targets than Tracy and D-Hop. I won't be surprised if Ricky Pearsall get like 7 or 8 targets easily. Shit, it could be more because hopefully Jawan Jennings plays, right? Debo probably going to be out. He's still sick. So I don't think they're going to suit up Debo. I don't think. They might. So, but I like D-Hop in this case with these 3 guys. Appreciate you, Martin Castillo. My boy been following me for about 3 years now. Nino says, yes, sir, Martin got some good flex options on the come up, even with Godwin gone. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Siobhan says, thought on Trey Palmer taking over the slot position for the Bucs with Godwin out now. He has experience in the slot for them already over the wide receivers they still have. So listen, this is what I'm going to say. Just because it's a lot of injuries and a guy comes in as a starter doesn't mean that he's going to get the same value. And let me tell you why. Sometimes it gets me all the time because I want to stay ahead of it, so I try to take the risk. But let's talk about Trey Tucker from the Las Vegas Raiders. Devontae Adams got traded. Jacoby Myers missed the game. And Zamir White was out. And Trey Tucker didn't have any targets. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen to Trey Palmer, but I don't think he's going to be good enough to be trusted in fantasy. If you are on a bye week, hell yeah, you can play Trey Palmer, and whatever happens, happens. But all the talent that's out there now, I don't know if I would try to be looking for the Bucs wide receiver. I think I would go towards like the running back, like a Rashad White, because he catch passes. I would go towards a Cade Otton, and I would stash up Trey Palmer and the other guy, McMillan, to see which one is going to take over, and then I'll make my assessment. But right now, to say that Trey Palmer is going to be great because nobody else is there, it don't always happen like that. Now, if he was a first round pick, yeah, I was like, yeah, they're gonna force it to him, but I don't see that. You said he has experience in the slot for them already over the other wide receivers they still have, right? But that doesn't mean anything. I don't know who they gonna like. Who's gonna get those targets that Godwin got, those honey targets and those honey touches and targets that Mike Evans got? It could go be funneled to Cade Otton and the running backs, and then they just throw it to a wide receiver here and there. Who knows? We just got to stash the guys. I think he's definitely a stash, though. He's definitely a stash. Conscious Machine says, I'm back. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro. Hit that like button. Conscious says, I grabbed Otton for Kittle's bye week. Good job. He plays Chiefs, and they are worst against the tight ends. Yes, sir. I actually may play Otton at flex this week. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nino says, get them likes up. Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Nino. Siobhan says, damn, Martin 7-0. That's awesome. Yes. King of Nike says, TD, who you starting at RB2? Ramondre, Chase Brown, Bucky, or Zach Moss? I'm probably starting Ramondre. I'm starting Ramondre. So I'm going to rank a couple of them. I'm going to say Ramondre, Bucky, Chase Brown. It's close between Bucky and Chase Brown. But, yeah, Ramondre, you got to go with the guy, the known, like, I know he ain't been playing great, but I haven't moved him down there. It ain't like that he's sucking. It's just the offenses hasn't been moving where they can use him efficiently. I think with Drake May, as keep pushing the ball downfield and they keep getting better, they're gonna get in the red zone and the green zone. And Ramondre is gonna have to get score some touchdowns. And that's why you pick up Ramondre. He gonna catch some passes and he gonna get some goal line touches. And I think that's why I would play him as my RB2, unless I hear something about him being injured and not practicing. And if Bucky practices all week, I can see you going to him, but that's a three-headed backfield. That's Sean Tucker, that's Rashad White, and that's Bucky Irvin. That's hard, right? Pause. That's hard to make a decision on. So I'm gonna go with Ramondre, and then I'm gonna say Chase Brown and Bucky's tomato. I might go with Chase Brown, probably over Bucky. It just depends on how I'm feeling. The reason why I said Bucky at first is because they don't have any the wide receivers, so they're gonna use a lot of those running backs. He says Joe Mixon is my RB1. Okay, right. I'm also trying to add another running back off the waivers. Right. You never can add too many running backs because you don't never know who's gonna get an opportunity for a bye week start. Sports Star says TD100. I was able to pick up Rashad Bateman so I can stack him with Lamar Jackson. Yes. And guys, that's another guy that I talked about was Bateman, but I'm not taking a victory lap. I didn't talk about Bateman because I know Bateman was going to go for 100 yards during week 7. I like Bateman because he plays with Lamar Jackson and he's the number 2 wide receiver and he got a deal in the offseason. That's why I told people to pick up Rashad Bateman. Alisa says TD, Kupp, or JSN standard. Thanks, TD. Kupp all day. You got to play Kupp. Lisa says, what do you think of McMillan? I missed the beginning of the stream. It's kind of like I said about Trey Palmer. You need to stash McMillan and Trey Palmer. If you can't get Palmer, that's fine. Stash McMillan and see what happens. But that's all he is, a stash. Like we don't know, right? He doesn't have high draft capital, so we don't know. So stash Trey Palmer and McMillan and see which wide receiver is going to be a good PPR guy to play. Conscious Machine says Sutton or Otten, similar names. It's hard for me to play a tight end over a wide receiver that they gave a contract to, right? I know he ain't been playing elite. They kind of trying to phase him out, and he might get traded. So I know you definitely holding on to Sutton, but me personally, I would try to find somebody else. But I guess Otten, because of the matchup and what's going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I would play Otten over Sutton. So yeah, I guess this is a time that you could go with Otten. King of Nike says, if Deontay gets traded, go pick up Leggett and Adam Thielen. Leggett should already be stashed. He should not be on your waivers. I've made that video. I'm not getting on you, King of Nike, because sometimes you can't do what I'm saying because you already got your team template already out and you ain't got any room. But I already made that video about Leggett, guys. You have to stash the guys that I'm telling you. If not, then you're not going to understand why I'm telling you to do things certain times. And then all of a sudden, then you want to talk about Rashad Bateman. The time that Bateman was where I think I made a good call was 3 weeks ago. It's not this week. This week doesn't matter. You should already have Bateman. If you lost Bateman and you wanted Bateman, it's your fault. You watch my channel. If you got room on your bench. If you don't, then you should already have a player better than Bateman. Right, and I know you. I'm not getting on you, King of Nike. Listen, I know, but some people don't have their team formatted right. They got bullshit players, and then they don't stash certain players, and they stashing some player just because they like him, or they might think whatever, and got the guy, and you don't stash the other guy, and then that guy ends up you have to drop him. He was never gonna be anything. So that's what I'm trying to say, King of Nike. I'm not getting on to you. I'm just want to break down that comment per se about Leggett. Like y'all should already know. Well, TD, I know you like Leggett because you want him to be stashed, right? I want him to be stashed. That is a stash. That is a stash. And Adam Thielen could be fine. He could be fine. I could see Adam Thielen getting traded. I mean, a lot of people would want Adam Thielen. Because he's a veteran wide receiver and he can get open. So, yeah, I agree with that. Sports Dog says, TD100, I have Hawkinson will be coming off IR. Good job. Way to hold on to him. Who do I drop? I have Dalton Kincaid. My tight end now. Bench is... Okay, is my tight end now. Dalton Kincaid, my tight end now. Bench is Rico Dowdle, Rashad Bateman, Jordan Addison, Sam Darnold, Brian Robinson, DJ Moore, and T. Higgins. Okay. So I have Dalton Kincaid. My tight end is so T. I have Hawkinson will be coming off. Who do I drop? Okay. It's got to be Dalton Kincaid. I'm not gonna tell you to drop no Brian Robinson or no DJ Moore or T. Higgins, Rashad Bateman or Dalton Kincaid. Rico Dowdle is a running back. He might not be the running back forever there. They may trade for somebody. But right now, he's the starting running back for this team. So I'm not going to tell you to drop any of those guys outside of Bateman and Dalton Kincaid for Hop. And I like Dalton Kincaid this year. But I think you're going to miss the best of Dalton Kincaid trying to get better at that position. Do that make sense, bro? Because you got to give, like, you know how you like Njoku right now, y'all. Everybody agree that Njoku had a good game. But guess what? If you got all these other guys, you're not gonna have Njoku on your team. You would have dropped them because you was trying to get better that particular week. Sometimes you got to know a guy's gonna get better, and that's my guy. That's what I'm talking about with Christian Watson. That's my guy. And I don't give a damn if he scored 3 points in a week because I didn't see him go out there and drop 15 balls or he can't run past nobody. I got him because I knew eventually the offense would transition into giving him the ball. Dalton Kincaid is a first-round pick. He's not playing that well right now, but they are going to find ways to get him the ball. I think going to Hawkinson could slow you down, and now Kincaid is going off, and you missing that boom for him. This Buffalo is starting a trend. They starting to look good. Keon Coleman caught his first deep touchdown. Josh Allen throwing for 250-plus yards again. The offense is flowing. I wouldn't want to tell you to get off of that too fast. So I'm gonna answer the question that you are asking. I would say Rashad Bateman or Dalton Kincaid. Those are the two guys that you drop to bring Hawkinson in off the IR. Great question though, Sports Dog. Sports Dog says, TD, or do I keep Dalton Kincaid and just drop Hawkinson? Right. I would drop Hawkinson, but I don't think you should necessarily do that. You already got Hawkinson. Listen, Minnesota is good, man. They got a lot of weapons. I would probably drop Hawkinson or try to trade him. I like Kincaid. I like Kincaid. I think he's gonna progress in that role that he got and get better and be a top 12 tight end for you. Don't just because. And I apologize to any females that I disrespect, but I'm just want to make this comparison. If a girl flash you, do that make her your girlfriend? Right? So no, you still like, okay, yeah, that was cool. I got a girlfriend at the house or a wife at the house. I'm good. Right? So just because Hawkinson is coming back, and he flashing you per se, right? Doesn't mean that then you gotta leave Dalton Kincaid and he ain't no good no more. Right? That's how I see it. Jamar Joseph with the super chat. Appreciate you, bruh. Jamar Joseph says, thoughts on Rico Dowdle, drop Bucky for him? No, don't drop Bucky for him. I think you need to stash him. And I hate going against what you asking me, but it's just too vacuum where I don't think you should drop Bucky. If you say, well, TD, Bucky, you gotta choose. I got a weapon to your head. Bucky or Dowdle. I guess I would have to go with Bucky, who's playing on a good offense, but I don't feel great about that. I think Dowdle got more opportunity to come and take over this backfield more than Bucky do. Bucky got to beat out Rashad White, who's a pass catcher running back that they need pass catchers right now. Also got to beat out Sean Tucker, who's very explosive and who hadn't had that many carries, and he's also been in the NFL longer than Bucky. So I like Rico, but you can't drop Bucky and somebody pick him up with that type of value that he's getting on a weekly basis for Rico. So to me, man, I think long-term is Bucky. I mean, long-term is Rico, and I think short-term is Bucky. I think Rico can be better than Bucky in the fourth quadrant if nobody else gets traded. And if you believe somebody's going to get traded to Dallas, then that's a great assessment, and then you can move on to Bucky. Hopefully, I broke it down for you to make your own decision. That's all I like to do. Give you all the pros and cons, and you make your own decision. Conscious Machine says Courtland Sutton has got to be traded, and I think he will be traded. I think they want to go to Troy Franklin. That's why I love Troy Franklin. I've been talking about Troy Franklin for a while, but I think eventually he's going to get better. But how would I ever try to get Troy Franklin out there if I was trying to put him up against other guys? I just had to make room on my team and stash him. That's all. You got to sometimes just like I don't want too many guys where I have to make it. Oh, who should I drop? I hate that. I kind of keep my everything simple where I can drop a guy like you know how you date that way you can break up with somebody and you're not like sad. A lot of people do that. A lot of people are like, you know what, I'm not taking nothing serious because this might not work out. And I'm just right now I just need to work on myself. So I don't want to be committed to anything to make me where, oh my God, we might break up. This is going to be bad. I don't want to do same thing with my players. I don't want to have too many players on my team where I don't know who to drop. Because then I'm gonna feel some type of way when I lose and another guy start balling. So try to keep your rosters as simple as you can if possible. Sometimes it's not possible. You have to get the best player that's on the waivers to make your team. So sometimes you're gonna have these problems, and that's okay. Siobhan says that makes sense. Keep an eye on how Palmer does. I'm dying at wide receiver position. Okay, Ayuk Shaheed all out rest of the season. So playing waivers, got Devontae Smith from draft, Jacoby Myers in trade, and Purse off waivers. Okay, I get what you're saying now. So you need a wide receiver. You need to go be trying to pick up, like you got Pearsall, you need to be paying attention to Troy Franklin. See if you can get Troy Franklin, Siobhan. You need to try or use one of those running backs that you don't need, like your third best running back, or maybe your best one, but you okay with the other two to go get you a wide receiver because Ayuk and Shaheed is out, and that those are top tier guys that I can see your team taking a hit. So let me know what running backs you got that you're willing to trade, and maybe those guys will be a little bit better for you. Let's see here. Conja says Sutton to Tampa Bay. Yeah, I thought about that. That makes sense. Minnesota, I don't see him going to Minnesota. Jordan Addison is too good. Steelers, I can see that. Maybe Russ might put a word in for him. Hell, even Patriots, right? Even Patriots, right? And I really like the Patriots because they need a tall wide receiver for Drake. Contra says, hit that like button. Yes, sir. He says Sutton contract was designated to be traded friendly. Right, trade friendly. Right, facts. Right. That's why I feel like he's gonna get traded. King of Nike says, yes, sir. I already got Leggett. Yes, sir. Good job, bruh. Big Will says, bruh, I was heated that Flowers. I was too. But listen, this is what happened. This is why I think I got a great niche in this because I see it. I know the game from like a coaching, pure football type. The way I see it from like a football coach point of view. But this is what I would say. When he got hurt, they didn't want to use. They want to make sure that he wasn't badly hurt, and they didn't want the angle to be where he was going to have to miss. Like somebody fall on him again, and he's going to have to miss 2 weeks. That's what happened, and so I was okay with it. But I lost money. I could have won a lot of money if Zay wouldn't have got hurt, because he was about to go for what he was going to go for. What he do every week. That's why I told y'all Lamar Zay. So that's what happened, and I respect that because this team is a Super Bowl team. Flowers only had 2 targets the whole game, lost by 6 because of that bullshit. Right. I understand everyone else was booming. No, it wasn't that they was booming. It was just he got hurt, bro, when they fell on his ankle, and they didn't want to use him anymore. And that's what happened. Facts. Conscious says, Big Will, I started Sutton Whittington and still won. Right. And sometimes you can do that. Like, I respect what Conscious saying. He's like, well, I'm playing my 2 guys, and they didn't do great, but I still won. So he's letting you know you can still stick with your guys, and even if they don't play great, you still can win because you got other boom players on your team. Like he got Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs won him that week. I'm pretty sure. Big Wheel says, Conscious, at least someone got a dub. Conscious says, so I could play Watson over Otten and Sutton. Right. I don't know. I'm probably playing Watson over Otten, but I'm not telling you that. I know what you're trying to do is the right move, man. You're trying to get Otten in there, and Otten is probably the #1 wide receiver on the Tampa Bay. Shh, nobody wants to talk about that. But Otten is probably the #1 wide receiver on Tampa Bay. Is it boom week for Watson? I'm starting Love and Dobbs. Bro, we don't know. We don't never know when it's boom week for Watson. You just got to play him and it happens. You can't guess it by the team or none of that. Okay, wait a minute. I think I got another super chat. No, I did. I just want to make sure I did. Okay. Oh, okay. You dropped Bucky for him. I see what you're saying. You dropped Bucky for him. Okay. I'm okay with that. Okay, my bad, bro. I'm my bad. It's sometimes, guys, the punctuation be off a little bit. I understand because we're trying to get these comments out, so I'm not gonna sit here and chastise nobody about punctuation because who the hell cares? But I just read it a little bit wrong, so I apologize. Country says, I am so damn lucky. Got a new member in the house, Mr. G on the rookie crew. Appreciate you, Mr. G. Yes, sir. But let me see here. Okay. So Conscious says, I am so damn lucky, Will, but I've had some battles, 4-3, second in total points and points against me. That's how fantasy is. King of Nike says, same here, Big Will. Lost by 6, but after that ankle injury, I already knew it was over. Right. I did too. The way he fell on it. I did too, King of Nike. I did. This would be Flowers the rest of the year because of the offense he's in. Lamar feeding everybody. Actually, I disagree with you, King of Nike. If Flowers don't get hurt, if they having a great passing game, unless they double teaming Flowers and they wasn't, they're not going to be able to because you got Derrick Henry. I think Flowers would have had 8 catches for 90 to 100 yards. He would have had that, but he got hurt. So I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it could be a game where Derrick Henry's getting all the carries and it's a cold game and Zay and maybe Bateman cuts 1 touchdown, 1 deep one. But if Lamar is passing for multiple touchdowns with 300-400 yards and stuff, Zay gonna be part of that if he's not hurt. That's what I believe. But I get what you're saying. He don't need Zay to win every time because it's Lamar Jackson. He can win it off of Bateman and and Mark Andrews are likely. So I get what you're saying, but I think Zay is dug himself out a little hole for this offense. Pause. King of Nike says, I got Kyler Murray, but I stashed Tua to stack with Tyreek when Kyler Murray and McBride go on by. Right. I got Kyler Murray, but I stashed Tua to stack with Tyreek when Kyler Murray and McBride are on by. Right. So guys, this is what I'm gonna say. So I forgot who it was. Might have been Siobhan or another person or another lady. It wasn't I can't think of who the other lady. I got 3 ladies that follow my channel. But she was like, TD, you told me to start Kirk Cousins, and I went with my gut and started Kyler Murray. Now she wasn't like talking junk. She was just telling me like what's going on, and I'm okay with that. But I would never want anybody. Kyler Murray is always a star. That's why I tell y'all to trade your quarterbacks, and y'all be like, I'm not listening to that. I'm not listening. Move on, TD. I'm gonna go keep 3 quarterbacks. And then you come back around and say, and I don't mean this is not bad. Well, TD, I went with my gut. Well, damn, I guess you did. I told you got 3 top quarterbacks, and you gonna go with the one with your gut. They all good. Just because you got Lamar Jackson don't mean he's gonna be the highest scoring. Taysom Hill could outscore Lamar in a week. I said what I said. Taysom Hill could outscore Lamar. But that doesn't mean that Lamar is playing bad or Taysom Hill is going to be a league winner. It's just how fantasy happens. So if you get a guy and you trust him and you like the way he played the game, you start him. I'm like, say I got Kyler Murray and say AR is out there. Yes, I'm going to pick up AR, but I'm not going to never sit Kyler. So I'm not telling y'all not to pick up these guys when they get dropped, but I'm not picking them up and trying to play matchups with them. Don't do that. Kyler Murray should always be started. It's 12 quarterbacks in the league that should always kind of be started most of the time. All right, let's see. Siobhan says, running backs, I got Hall, A-Chain, Montgomery, Chase Brown, and Tyrone Tracy. Okay, so you got Hall, you got A-Train. You could trade Montgomery or Hall. You could trade one of these guys if you wanted to. You don't have to if you need to, right? So you only got to start 2 wide receivers. Maybe you want to start these 3 running backs. That's okay. But you could trade one of these guys and go get a really good wide receiver. For tight end, I have Njoku and Hawkinson. Right. Quarterbacks, I have Mahomes and Tua, Chiefs and Vikings. Right. So yeah, it looks like you're gonna be probably have to start Tua, but Mahomes got D-Hop now. He might start putting up 2 touchdowns a game, especially late, because I think Travis Kelce gonna be playing out of his mind late in the season. I don't know if it's gonna be in the fantasy football playoffs, but it's gonna be late. It's definitely gonna be in the playoffs, real playoffs too, when he start balling. Siobhan says, welcome, Mr. G. Mr. G says, picked up Pearsall. Should I pick up Tillman, Coleman, or Bateman instead? That's a great, bro. That is really, really tough. So listen, you remember what I said? Stash guys and wait and see. So nobody played Cedric Tillman after Amari Cooper got. Most people didn't play Cedric Tillman after Amari Cooper got traded. Nobody really played Elijah Moore. But we seen Tillman get 8 to 10 targets and ball out with 100 yards. So that's making me want to say him for long term, because he's going to be a wide receiver who's going to be getting all the targets, and targets is king sometimes, where these other guys play on really good teams. Where Bateman got Zay, got Mark. I love Bateman, but they don't need Bateman to win. Coleman, they don't need Keon Coleman, but I think Keon Coleman is going to be a touchdown machine. They need Tillman. It looks like from 1 week, just only 1 week. So I'm not saying this is a state, but it looks like they need Tillman to win. So I would say Tillman, man, but you don't have to listen to me if that makes sense. Because Coleman, I think Coleman is probably the guy with the name, but I think Tillman, we need to see it 1 more week, maybe a couple more weeks. I think Tillman might end up being like a top 32 wide receiver just because he's the only one, he's the only guy there. So it's going to be Njoku and Tillman. I think Tillman. I think you see Tillman's better than Jerry Jeudy. I think everybody know that. We talked about Tillman in the offseason. Like, can he be good? Because we saw a couple good games last year. I think it might be Tillman. So, but Coleman is the name guy. I think he's going to be having touchdown. I think he's going to get 3 to 4 targets a game, and he's going to have a touchdown. He's going to be touchdown dependent. I think Tillman's going to be getting targets. So I think Tillman will lead those 3 guys in targets. Great question. Harambe, what's up, bro? Hey, I'm gonna call you, man. We're gonna try to do fantasy football after dark, and I also want to bring you in on another show. Somebody offered to do a show with me, but I want to bring you with me. I want to make sure you come on. See if you free. I know your schedule is kind of off, so I'm gonna try to do a day that I think you could get home and be able to do the live. So I'm gonna hit you up though, bro. Appreciate it. He says, should any team in a redraft have Tyreek and Jamar Chase? Any team, yeah. Should any team in redraft have? Yes, because you can trade for Tyreek. You could have traded for Tyreek when Tua went down. After a trade, for redraft should any team in redraft have Tyreek and Jamar Chase after a trade? Yes, I think so. I think that's what you're asking me. Yeah, it's only a trade the way you can make that happen. Other than that, you ain't gonna be able to draft those guys. Not this year. King of Nike says, yeah, I'm going to ride with Zay the rest of the year in my flex. AJ Brown and Tyreek are my 1 and 2s. Facts. King of Nike said, you right, TD, on the quarterbacks, but I'm only starting Tua week 11 for Kyler Murray bye week. Right. I get that. And I'm not talking about you. I just use that. Right. I just see a lot of people where every week they trying to play the best quarterback matchup. And they don't understand that it doesn't make you score the most because you got a weak opponent. That's not how it works. Lamar best game last year. Do y'all know what? I'm gonna ask the chat right now. Put it in the chat. What was Lamar Jackson best game last year? Where he scored the most fantasy points and what team it was? Like what team did he play? It wasn't a weak team. It wasn't no weak team. It wasn't a team that it might have been a week where you might want to start Tua. If you had Tua and Lamar, because he was playing actually the second best defense in the whole NFL. It was the San Francisco 49ers. Now it was the 49ers. Conscious. It was the 49ers. He killed. The man scored like 50 points in the league against the 49ers. So I don't want you to play matchups with quarterbacks. Also, I don't think you should play matchups, King of Nike, and we can agree to disagree. That's fine. We're not going to agree everything. I respect your opinion, bro. I know you know your shit. But I'm not playing matchups with my running backs and wide receivers. I'm not playing matchups with nobody. And I'm playing my guys. I'm playing Tyreek. And I know you said, well, I know Tyreek, but what about the lower tier guys? I like Rashid Shaheed. You know I played Rashid Shaheed every single damn week that he hit this year? It was because I liked the guy. It wasn't just because, oh, he got a great matchup. He didn't have great matchups. And I actually took a dud from him one week. I didn't care because I'm playing Rashid Shaheed. That's why I called his booms. I had players, man, on my team that had a better name, that was better. I faded T. Higgins and went to Rashid Shaheed. Not saying I was drafting Rashid Shaheed where I was drafting T. Higgins, but no, I'm not taking a wide receiver. I don't like T. Higgins. I don't like the way they handled it. I'm going for Rashid Shaheed. So I don't play matchups with any position. And I showed y'all my teams. I won multiple championships. Now, my leagues could be a little bit different because I play on Sleeper and I play in a lot of Superflex leagues. I do. My leagues could be a little different. All right. And I'm not talking about you, King of Nike. I'm just using your comment as an example, guys. Y'all are my members. Most of y'all know, y'all respect me. Y'all beat to your own drums. Y'all make sound decisions. I'm just giving an overall view so y'all can be like, okay, well, I see why TD keep, like, when I ask him about this quarterback, why he, like, well, why are you doing that? I get what he's saying. Even though I like 2 quarterbacks, that's fine. But I'm telling you, don't do that because you're going to bench Kyler Murray when he breaks the 50-yard run. Because he's playing against a tough defense like the Chargers. Siobhan says, Mahomes playing Las Vegas this week. You have to play him. You got to play him. Right. And he's playing in Las Vegas. That's why I'm playing the Kansas City defense this week. Player in the summer. Okay. Remember the Las Vegas player in the summer mimicking Pat with Puppet, and Pat said it'll get taken care of when it gets taken care of. Mahomes might be paying Las Vegas back, right? So maybe I want to pay Travis Kelce. Maybe he hyper target Travis Kelce to make sure he get those 2 to 3 touchdowns. I like that, Siobhan. That's good information. That's good information. I'm still against Las Vegas. Now listen, Mahomes is different. So I'm not telling you, oh, his matchup is good. It's Mahomes. So if you got him, ain't nobody dropping him. So I'm telling you, like, you can feel okay to play him against Las Vegas, or just pivot off of him totally, because you maybe don't want to have Mahomes. But at this point in time, if you drafted Mahomes and it looks bad, with D-Hop coming, you have to try to see again and reassess and see if it's going to keep trending like where he's only throwing 1 touchdown a game, or if he start having some boom games. So he might go into a different tier. So it's different because Mahomes' season is way off. It's different than what his season has been in the past. So you got to use different things when it comes to different players. Siobhan says Mahomes. Okay, yeah, we get that one. Elisa says what? Elisa, right? That's who it was. It was Lisa. Right. What are we doing with AR5? Also have Mary. You got to start Kyler right now. You got to start Kyler Murray every time and stash AR. So I would just start Kyler Murray, and say if AR has 2 really good games, then you can think about a trade. But I'm never going to tell you to hold both of them and play matchups every single week, because you're going to go to somebody and somebody going to disappoint you. I don't want that feeling that warps your mind in fantasy. Damn, I should have played. Well, I should have played. Well, I should have. You shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Don't shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You lose. That's okay. You don't not a bad fantasy player because you lose. You're a bad fantasy player because you don't trust yourself. You doubt yourself. That's what makes you a bad fantasy player. That's what makes you a bad human. You doubt yourself. If you make a decision in life and people don't like it, it's okay. Go down with the ship. That's the decision I made. I was wrong. I apologize. Or I was right. That's what I stand on. Right? That's what life is about. And that's how I play fantasy. And people try to make my channel be, this is just a guy. He's talking to himself on the TV screen. He's too close to the camera. He got spider webs in his hair, and he's just talking crazy. And I win. I don't care. I don't want to talk about you winning. I'm gonna troll you because my opinions are very different, but I back it up with my wins and my players that I pick. Mr. G says, what's your thoughts on Ramondre Stevens trade away or keep? I say stash, but if you can get a better running back, if you can get a 2-for-1, right, do it. But I think he's a stash. I think he's a stash. You don't want to trade away running backs unless you get another running back. Running backs, man, you need them in the cold. The cold is coming, guys. It's Halloween. The cold is coming. It's going to be a running back game when you start playing Kansas City and Cleveland and Baltimore, East Coast. It's going to be cold games. If you ain't in Texas or in California, running backs are very, very important. And they're important anyway. Harami says Lamar is something else, man. He's amazing. He is. And I know you told me that over the summer that was your favorite player. Yes, Lamar owns the NFC. Facts. Conjure says the only matchup that can be used in fantasy is shutdown corners. I don't know. Yes, you can use that because you can use anything. You can use defensive line. You can do that. But this is what I say. I draft players that can't be shut down by corners. I'm telling you, I'm for real. Y'all know why I love Tyreek Hill? You tell me a corner who can shut him down when Tua is healthy. I'm waiting. And I want to see this in the comments. I'm not moving on to Tua. I see that. Who can shut down Tyreek Hill when Tua is healthy? Deion Sanders? Nope. Nope. I'm talking about a prime Tyreek. Tyreek is getting older. He's still in that prime. But 2 years ago, when he first got tell me who's shutting him down. You can't do it. So now, if I got a player that can be shut down, I know that's about him, and I will bench him if I know it. But my first round picks are gonna be they super. That's why I've been telling y'all to draft Tyreek for years. They super. I mean, he's super. So can't nobody stop him. But if you get other players, matchups do matter sometimes. Revis is that's the guy. Him and Dion, They can shut a guy down. I don't think Calvin Johnson is the best. Revis did. You right, Conscious. Revis did shut down, but I don't like Calvin Johnson. He ain't better. He ain't better than a lot of receivers. He's not better than Steve Smith. He's not better than Antonio Brown. Revis will have a hard time guarding Antonio Brown, and he would have a hard time guarding. He actually had a hard time guarding Dez Bryant. I remember the game. I was so pumped up because I was like, I want to see what Revis. I can't wait to see this game. Darrelle Revis and Dez Bryant. And that first series, Dez Bryant was pushing Darrelle Revis' ass around. And after the game, they talked to Darrelle. You know what he said? He said, this guy's built different. He said, now listen, he only had like 50 yards, but he was getting open against Darrelle Revis when nobody else was. Right? So that's what but yeah, Revis, Deion Sanders, there's still certain guys. Michael Irvin used to give Deion Sanders hell. So I'm telling y'all now, y'all can sit there and do that. I'm not gonna sit here and try to convince anybody about that. But this is what I be saying. You don't care if it even happens. You don't care if Tyreek Hill goes out and beats the top corner. You're gonna, it's gonna be some type of reason. There are some guys you can't, like CMC, you can't have a bad matchup against like CMC. Yep, thank you, Dustin. So yeah, guys, I don't want to go on too long about that, but I think those are great teaching moments. Nobody plays fantasy that way. Nobody. That's why I would love to show y'all. I'm not just saying this; it works. And listen, I say that, and then I get in the league, and then guess what? My people draft Tyreek Hill. They won't let me pick him up. If you believe he can be shut down, then let me draft him and see what happened. Like Lamar, what matchup against Lamar gonna shut him down? Now he can have a bad game against the weakest team in the league. Let's see. Let me move on. But I definitely get what you're saying. He says the only matchups are using fantasy shutdown corners versus wide receivers, and running backs put up numbers against great defenses, but wide receivers get demoralized against guys like Saul, Surtain, Point. Not Tyreek Hill. Not Tyreek Hill, and also not Amon-Ra St. Brown. My staple guys, no, even Christian Watson. I saw Christian Watson as a rookie beat top corners. Even though Garrett Wilson, all these guys are great. Now, look at Garrett Wilson. Who said that everybody said Garrett Wilson was better than Christian Watson. Christian Watson about to get a deal from even though he ain't scoring a lot of points, he's about to get a deal from Green Bay. It's going to probably be better than what Garrett Wilson's going to get because Garrett Wilson is the number 2 corner. He ain't a number 1. So he can be shut down by Sauce and those guys. Tyreek Hill, you can't shut him down. Deion Sanders, Rod Woodson, they can't shut him down. So that's that's why I tell y'all to draft these superior. Brian Thomas Jr. Why y'all think I told you to draft Brian Thomas Jr.? Because he played for LSU? No, he's 6'3", 220 pounds, and runs I'm giving away the sauce, and runs a 4.3 and can jump out the gym, got a 40-inch vertical, and he's strong. He benched 225 like 20 times. So get up in him and bench and try to bump and run him and see what happens. So that's why I'm on. You want to know why you tell us to draft Brian Thomas Jr. over Marvin Harrison? All of y'all was on Marvin Harrison Jr. And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say y'all not per se my members, but I'm saying y'all as in TD is crazy. He didn't draft Marvin Harrison in the first round. Oh, I'm crazy. But I was on Zay. He didn't break out first game, so I'm wrong. That's why I was on Brian because he's physically gifted. Let me see. Lamar easily my favorite. I'm a Bengals fan. Right. Conscious says, how do you feel about MHJ this week? I can't sit him, but Miami is only allowed one wide receiver to get 15 points. How do you feel about MHJ this week? It just depends on your team. I don't think he's superior or anything like where he gonna have a crazy game, but sometimes you just got to start him anyway if you don't got any better wide receivers. But it just depends on what other wide receivers you got. You right, King of Nike. I do put respect on Ocho. You right. Ocho was like that too now. You right, King of Nike. Ocho, he was, listen, The best route running guy that I ever saw, I would probably say Antonio Brown, right? I saw Jerry, but I would say Antonio Brown was a better route runner than Jerry. I actually think Antonio Brown was better than Jerry, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Jerry was great. Ocho probably is a top 3 route runner of all time. He taught guys how to run right routes with his feet game. Like that's why he used to always do the feet stuff. He could get open in the phone booth. Ocho Cinco's like that. I agree. If he wouldn't have headbutted his wife, he would have been a Hall of Famer. Megatron was a cheat code in fantasy, though. Yes, he was, but Darrell Reeves used to lock his ass down for 20 yards, Mr. G. He used to lock Megatron down. That's why I'm like, Megatron, listen, and I know I'm not better than Megatron. Even in my younger days, I probably wasn't the player that Megatron was. But guys, if you hit him, he got scared and shit. If you hit him one good time, he didn't want to play no more. Steve Smith was better than Megatron. I stand on that. That's why I'm who I am, and that's why you talk to real football people. They know. Listen, I can. Oh, what is he saying? He's country. They know when I talk my football shit. I know what I know. People will tell you Steve Smith is better than Megatron. Y'all was fascinated by the size. He's 6'5". That don't make you, bro. You 6'5", you supposed to be doing it. But Steve Smith 5'8", jumping over anybody, blocking middle linebackers, catching the ball across the middle with no drops. Like, and you could take his head off back in the day. This is not where the new NFL rule. You could take his head off. Megatron, he go across the middle. You hit him one time, he done. Everybody will see that. Everybody saw that. Mr. G says, you think Kupp is going to get traded? If so, where you think? I thought about Tampa Bay. They lost Godwin out for the year. Mike Evans ain't coming back to week 12, week 13. I think they need Cooper Kupp. I don't know if they got the cap room to pick him up, but I think he would be good for them. Man, listen, it's not a bad team to Kupp he could go anywhere. You wouldn't want to see him with Carolina. You're pretty sure that Carolina's not going to do it, and a couple other teams like that. But Kansas City still could get him. It's a lot of teams that could pick him up if they try to, maybe the Rams pay his salary, and that way he's more of a just a come on to your team. You don't have to worry about the salary to your salary cap. Moss was him. Moss was him. Moss was way better than Megatron. Moss was tough, but he was a finesse player, but he was tough. You wasn't going to, you hit Moss, he was still going to get up. You wasn't going to intimidate Moss. Megatron was a late bloomer, so he could be intimidated because he was just like a really nice guy. And I'm not knocking him. Man, he was extremely athletic, extremely gifted, but he wasn't tough because he didn't have to get his out the dirt as much. But yeah, Randy Moss was like that. Randy Moss going to all these colleges where he got kicked off because of some of the him getting in trouble, made him a monster. And his skill set with one hand catches and running deep, Moss is like that, man. Moss is like that. I love Moss. Let me see. Yeah, so I think Kupp could get traded in. Like I said, I think Tampa Bay. They need somebody. They got a good record. Why not make that move? Conscious Machine says Dobbs, Harrison Jr., Sutton, Watson gotta play too. Yeah, I would probably play Harrison Jr. And Dobbs is the safest play. That's me getting out of my prerogative. My prerogative, I'm playing my guy, but that's my opinion. Y'all got to be able to separate what I believe, who my favorite players is. That's different. That's why I give y'all the consensus answer. Not like that's a bad way, but no, man, this guy's getting targets. You got to respect that. I'm not going with no Watson when he's getting 3 points and this other guy is getting 7 to 8 targets and giving you 15 points. So Dobbs and Harrison Jr. to me are the safer plays, but me, I would probably play Harrison Jr. and Watson. That's just me. I just want to give y'all my 2 cents on that. All right, guys. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This is cutting edge content. I will be doing more member-only lives, and to me, it gives me a little bit more room to break down, do my analysis. Like I said, we don't have to agree on everything, but I will trash if y'all start skipping over my takes and not acknowledging it and going over to then when I'm wrong and then you jump on it, but you won't say nothing when it's hitting, because I've had a lot of players hit, but then when a player that I tell y'all and it don't hit, that's all you stuck on. And I'm trying to teach y'all about that. Not because listen, I apologize about Deontay Johnson. That's nobody. I said play Deontay Johnson last week. I was wrong. There's nothing about that. But sometimes it be like, TD, you was off on this guy. I'm like, bro, but didn't you have Rashid Shaheed on your team? Yeah. Don't you got Brian Robinson Jr.? Yeah. But you was wrong about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray kept you from winning. But you had 5 guys that nobody talked about in the offseason that I said was going to be great. Nobody talked about Brian Robinson, said he was going to be a top 5 running back. So I just want to be able to build your mentality of what it's really about. Players are going to play bad, guys. Jamar Chase going to have bad games. Justin Herbert going to have bad games. Lamar going to have bad games. King Henry could have a bad game next week and go for 5 points. You shouldn't care. You know these guys can play. Get these superior guys. They're going to have bad games. Don't be crazy from week to week just because a guy played bad. Sometimes it might be multiple weeks. It might be 4 weeks that he's playing bad. But if you know he's a good player and his draft capital is good for the team, like Marvin Harrison, he's been playing bad. But, well, his fantasy points has been bad. But y'all know that they want to get him the ball. He was a second pick overall. What they going to do? Just, he ain't that good, we don't need to use him? No, he's going to get targets. Look at the total. Look at macro, not micro. Macro. That's why I talk about the third and fourth quadrant a lot. It's players right now we think suck. They're going to be great in the fourth quadrant. Yep. Thank you, Conscious. Thank you. Yep. All right, guys. Y'all be safe. See y'all later. Peace.